Hello, 5812 students again. This time in this little recording, I'm going to talk just a little bit about the quizzes, just to clarify the expectations, the purpose, and the format of the quizzes. So, our class will have a total of 4 quizzes, and you are required to choose 3 of those 4. We have 8 class sessions. And so each quiz bundles 2 classes. So classes 1 and 2 come together and have a quiz when we finish them. Classes 3 and 4 come together, and after class 4 is done, we have a quiz. 5 and 6, 7 and 8. The purpose of the quizzes is to allow me some assessment of your comprehension of course material. So if you've watched the video on the case write-ups are about preparation. They're about having you, encourage you to read the assignments for the class and giving you an opportunity to think about an application of those readings and that material to a case, organization, or person. So cases are completed before we come to class to support your preparation. Quizzes are completed after we finish 2 classes and only test the material from those 2 classes. So once a bundle of 2 classes is done, we're sort of done with that in terms of any evaluation or assessment. Part of what I've decided over the years is I did have comprehensive final examinations in this class for a period of time, so a very large, lengthy exam at the end of the semester. And I just didn't find that that was, well, first of all, it was kind of stressful, I think. Secondly, it took a lot of time. And thirdly, I don't think it accomplished my goal of kind of understanding how you were comprehending material as we went along in the class. So it's much more, I think, effective to test smaller chunks of material. It allows you to review smaller chunks of what we're doing in class and therefore kind of embed it and reinforce it in the process of studying and taking the quizzes. The quizzes will occur using Canvas, so they happen outside of class. And what happens is when we finish the second class of that 2-class bundle, that day the quizzes will open at about 5 o'clock. So you'll finish class at 4:30, whether it's my class or another one of your courses in your first semester. And then anytime starting at 5 o'clock that day, which is typically a Saturday, you'll have from 5 o'clock until midnight on Sunday night, 11:59, to take the quiz. The quiz itself will last 1 hour. So once you start the quiz, you have 1 hour to complete it. So you must set aside an hour so you're able to finish it, and it has to be finished before 11:59 on Sunday night. So you need to start by about 9:55 or so before you, to make sure you're done on time. So I do this so that you have some flexibility about when you take it. I also do it because I've also learned that if I let you kind of keep this open into the week, work and life and other assignments in preparation for the next weekend of CEMBA are pressing on you already. So it's just better to close this down and finish it kind of right after we cover the material. Again, Canvas has the specifics here. If you have a scheduling conflict, it does occur that sometimes you have a personal thing happening on a weekend. It does occur that sometimes you need to be traveling and you're going to be in the air on an international flight. I want you to know we're flexible to help you with that kind of thing. It shouldn't happen regularly, and it really should be a true necessity that we have to change it, but we are always willing to try to help accommodate your schedule. So the most important thing to know all the time is just reach out. If you need something, ask us. Once in a while we'll say no, because I also care a lot about making sure that things are fair and equitable, and I can't offer a lot of alternatives to people if I'm not willing to do that for everybody. So know that this should not be common, but if you have a real pressing conflict, please do reach out and we can adjust things for you. The dates are here. They're also on the Canvas website. The quiz will cover readings, cases, and things we discussed in class. Uh, that sometimes is a very large amount of material. So I will often give you a little bit of a clue. I'm not going to go into, an article and try to find some very microscopic detail to test you on. I'm not trying to, trip you up or catch you somehow. I'm really trying to think about, have you demonstrated to me that you've prepared, that you've been in the reading, that you've kind of thought about concepts and that you can use them in a way that addresses the questions. The quiz format may change a little bit from quiz to quiz, but typically it has a few multiple choice questions and then somewhere between 2 and 3 what I'd call short scenario, short answer questions. So for instance, I might have a scenario that says something like, after class this weekend, you had breakfast with one of your peers, and they know you're taking this class and they're having this problem with one of their subordinates, and they asked for your advice about A, B, C, D. And so A, B, C, D will be about the topics we talked about, and I'll be looking for your capability to draw on the class concepts and the readings to give them an answer. And that might be one of the ways that we have a test question that's kind of a short answer, but short scenario question. So as we get a little bit closer, I will share more details on that, but that's kind of the basics of the quizzes. The most important thing that you need to know is that there are 4 and you need to pick 3, and that they open on the Friday at the 5 o'clock after class ends on the second class the quiz covers, and that you have to complete it before 11:59 on Sunday night, and that once you open it up, there's a clock ticking and a deadline. One final note about that clock ticking. It does stress students out that there's a deadline, and it will be difficult for you to complete the quiz maybe with as much thoughtfulness as you really would prefer to have. But I want to just say that there has to be a deadline because I allow you to use your notes, I allow you to use your books, and it would be, in my view, kind of a pointless exercise if I put a quiz out there and let you then sit down and read your articles that you hadn't really read yet to answer the question, and then have us grade that material. That doesn't really seem like a good use of anyone's time. So we really are trying to capture how much preparation and participation and thoughtfulness you've done and how you can therefore then answer things kind of spontaneously from your own memory. But again, you should know that you can use your notes and you can use the readings so that if for some reason you're like, oh, I can't remember, I know I read that, you could take a moment and look something up to kind of help jog your memory. So you kind of get the help of that. And I'd say that if you've done your readings and you've taken notes, you'll know where to access that material quickly and help you answer the question. So I don't want to go into any more detail. I don't want you to be any more worried about this than you should be. Overall, each quiz is a pretty small portion of your grade, but I mostly want you to understand why we do the quizzes and then this format so that you recognize it's on Canvas. There's a limited window to complete it, and once you start the quiz, you have 1 hour so that you're prepared for that and not surprised by any of those logistic details.